Ever since the last episode of The Legend of Korra was released on Disney, we've been waiting to jump into the Bending universe again. And to our surprise, it won't be through another series, but with the Avatar Legends role-playing game. According to the producers, it's going to feel like a brand new episode of Avatar every single time we jump in. So let's find out more. Firstly, what do we know about the release date? Magpie Games have confirmed the Avatar Legends tabletop role-playing game's release date. Pre-orders for the game began earlier this week, with the core rulebook official release dates for October 26th for digital copies and January 25, 2023 for physical editions. The core rulebook and Wan Shi Tong's adventure guidebook, which offers players 5 adventures and various additional character options, will be the first 2 volumes made available. Pre-orders for both physical and digital versions are currently open. In addition, Magpie Games disclosed that in Q1 2023, Target would sell a special Avatar Legends starter set. When Avatar Legends was first revealed in 2021, the game's Kickstarter campaign succeeded in raising more than $9.5 million. So obviously, there are several planned game expansions, and sourcebooks for Republic City and the Spirit City have already been announced. In the summer of 2023, the Republic City sourcebook will be released. Players create their characters in Avatar Legends by using a playbook based on the Powered by the Apocalypse gaming system. Finding a character's inner balance is crucial to gameplay and advancement because each character has a unique set of skills. Various Avatar series characters make appearances as legends, who can either teach the player something or act as allies or adversaries depending on the circumstance. Avatar creators Brian Konietzko and Michael Dante DiMartino have supplied a wealth of additional material for the Roku Age, which will enable storylines in 5 separate Avatar eras. Next up, how they brought the Avatar to life. The team at Magpie Games collaborated closely with a variety of brilliant game designers who tried to bring these stories to life. This included hiring the brilliant game designer and cultural expert James Mendez-Hodes as a primary designer. Before they put pen to paper, contributing designers were present to discuss all the big concerns. They began collaborating with all the communities involved and have been working on this game for almost 2 years now. Dr. Siu Leung Lee produced the authentic Japanese calligraphy for both Korra and Avatar, and now he has returned to collaborate with the Magpie team on the project as a translator and calligrapher. The story's emphasis on water rights is a reflection of the world's actual conflicts over these. These stories have a strong feeling of the indigenous nature of the water tribe within them and are very much based on real-life politics. The universe of Avatar Legends is actually based on indigenous cultures from Asia and North America, just like the original television series. Making it only an Asian and indigenous world and treating it the same way Lord of the Rings treats English culture and English stories as a common bridge of that land was one thing Mike DiMartino and Brian Konietzko did that was incredibly smart. It implies that anything that occurs in the Avatarverse has the ability to affect how we perceive the world. However, nothing about it is designed to be immediately identifiable as just Japanese or just Korean. Moving on, more information on Avatar Legends' cultural impact. Tabletop gaming has long benefited from the diversity efforts of independent designers, which have made it more welcoming to queer and players of color. The history of Eurocentrism, which included racist representations of races like orcs, is currently being confronted by classic TTRPGs like D&D. Avatar Legends is primed to be a popular, immersive TTRPG set outside of the European subcontinent because it is an adaptation of a beloved franchise with a devoted following. However, it also poses a problem because the Avatarverse blended indigenous and various Asian traditions to create its reality. DiMartino and Konietzko have stated in previous interviews that this was mostly done to avoid painting any culture in a negative light. In 2022, it will be much harder to balance cultural realism and use influence from these nations to build a fantasy realm. The game will be a pan-Asian experience with a lot of rich potential. Some of it looks to be disappointing, but some of it works really well. While we would have loved a fast-paced action game similar to the Batman Arkham series in terms of gameplay, the die-rolling RPG seems to offer a lot as well. In other news, let's talk about the future of the Avatarverse. No need to worry if you like Avatar and Korra but aren't as familiar with TTRPGs. While providing depth that will satisfy those who have a ton of experience at the table, Avatar Legends is made to be friendly to newbies. Players are given the flexibility to express their creativity while staying within the magnificent universe and themes of Avatar, whether it is through weapon style, bending, or the time period. Additionally, the rulebook's Making the Characters section includes guidance for players on how to play beyond their level of experience. It's designed for people who won't be of the same ethnicity as the main character. Naturally, a lot of TTRPGs ask their players to design characters that are not from their race, even those from fictional races. Many of them can and often do draw inspiration from reality. The Avatar Legends rulebook advises players to be careful to play as a whole person, not just as an identity or a label. Since this is the first time the Avatarverse has been adapted into an RPG, we are quite excited to have the chance to play it. And to be very honest, it's the only way an Avatar game could be made. Next up, how will the storytelling work? The way something happens is determined by the roll of the dice and continuously nicely keeps the story going. You can be attempting to flee from Dai Li agents or throwing rocks at an airship. There are many possible outcomes for your efforts, and bad outcomes have repercussions. The benders on board may now start firing missiles your way if the rock misses or impacts somewhere you weren't anticipating. The entire game is going to be based on how you answer, where you must constantly think on your feet. Players can run a campaign in one of 5 eras inside the Avatar universe: Kyoshi, Roku, 100-Year War, Aang, or Korra. The power struggle and canon characters you'll encounter along the road are determined by the era. Stories can be amusing or sad, local or regional in scope. It all depends on what you feel like playing. Do you wish to gently navigate an era of rebuilding and technological growth, or provide a helping hand on a planet marred by imperialist dominance? Kinda exactly how we imagined an Avatar game to sound. Players then finally settle on a focus that creates the perfect environment for creating an Avatar-verse-based tale. Will you attempt a rescue like Tenzin, Kaya, and Bumi did when they looked for Ikki? Will you try to learn as Team Avatar did when they stole information from Wan Shi Tong's spirit library? Or are you up for something a little more Avatar-worthy? The battle between Korra and her companions and Kubera's enormous metal-bent mecha is an example of the kind of terrifying foe that we can actually go up against in the game. Finally, who are the characters? With the use of playbooks, you can create your own new characters in Avatar Legends. Comparatively speaking to a standard Dungeons & Dragons campaign, play can begin pretty quickly. Playbooks have a strong emphasis on archetypes. For example, the Prodigy is an obvious reference to Toph, the blind bandit whose incredible earthbending made her a formidable foe. These playbooks provide characters with an emotional arc that serves as a narrative compass, which aids us in choosing the kinds of stories we want to tell. You can construct a character with any of the 4 bending techniques in Avatar Legends through training, or you can concentrate them on weapons and technologies. We could create a character that's not a bender and instead uses tech like Asami's electric glove to defend other players. It's a brilliant little gameplay option that makes sure that non-benders are held to be just as valuable in the game. It also builds on the series and shows that characters like Sokka were essential to the story. The game allows a lot of freedom. You can play as an earthbender that doesn't bend big chunks of rock, but solely only bends crystals. Sure, it doesn't really sound like a character we'd like to see fighting alongside Aang or Korra, but it would make for a killer character in Avatar Legends. In the end, players are free to create whoever they want and use them to tell an exciting story. It focuses less on combat and bending, but instead revolves more around the show's excellent way of talking about heroism, balance, and difficult decisions. So if you're playing with a friend group that already has a shaky foundation, be ready to be at each other's throats by the end of the game. That's a wrap for this video, and thanks for watching. What did you think of the new Avatar Legends, and will you be pre-ordering it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.